Long Forestry Consultation is a private natural resource management company serving the Midwestern United States. Through the practice of sustainable forestry, we have worked for over 330 clients, have written over 200 forest management plans, representing over 37,000 acres. Our forests represent a dynamic and powerful element of nature that provide critical habitat for wildlife, water and soil protection, carbon sequestration, a renewable timber supply, and a sanctuary for people, plants, and animals. Sustainable forestry keeps forests healthy, productive, dynamic, beautiful, and available for future generations. John and Paula were interested in controlling invasive species in order to open up their forests for native species to return. Now they have a healthy and beautiful stand of woods that they can enjoy.
It's easy to get overwhelmed, I think, when you hear about climate change and the problems with invasive species and think, well, what can I really do to make a difference? But, individual property owners, that's the only people who can make a difference, really. And so it's important to us that to have Long Forestry help us. We can't, at this point, we couldn't go out and do invasive control for all 11 acres, but it's been great to have like this little army of guys coming in and doing it for us. And it was a real exciting day for us, the day the trucks pulled up and the guys with the chainsaws got out and they went to work.
And he was also there to help explain all the terminology that's used.
Yes, exactly.
He did a study for us, a report that was sort of like could have been a different language to us with all the statistical information. But Mike was very patient with us and sitting down and explaining what it all meant.
Yeah, and I think the whole idea of the forest management plan is what it's called. You have to invest a little bit in that, but we would really recommend that every property owner do that, because once you have that forest management plan, then it really makes you eligible for a lot of other services, funding sources, etc. So it really is a springboard for us, and we'd recommend others consider it as well. If you have a property with any kind of a woods lot, get that management plan in place, and great things can happen from there.
So we have some old growth forest that were originally shade trees left for the cattle, but we also had some problems that Mike identified for us. We had some invasive species such as multiflora rose and bush honeysuckle, and he was very helpful in helping us identify that and tell us what we needed to do to solve that problem. What you see here is a very pleasant forest environment. Was really inaccessible when we first bought the property because it was so overgrown with invasives and other species that you really couldn't even walk through here. So it's great not only to see native plants come back in and recolonize the area, but we were just talking this morning about how much more wildlife we see now that we've opened up the woods, because the wildlife in this area was evolved to live in an oak hickory forest, which was much more open than the woods that we had when we first bought the place. So now that we've opened it up, we have all those critters coming back in, and not only can we enjoy the woods by walking through it, but we really enjoy seeing all the birds and the other wildlife that have come back. It's been very gratifying.
Yeah. And we should point out, this is really just the first year of a multi-year process. So we've already seen big changes. It was just last summer that the first invasive treatments took place. We're going to have the second phase this year and then phase 3 next year. So we're really excited at what it's going to look like now when all is said and done. But very pleased to see so much progress so quickly.